Hi, I'm Portia with PS Practice Solutions, and welcome to Credentialing Made Simple. This is your guide to becoming an in network healthcare provider. I'm excited to guide you through this essential steps of credentialing and show you how mastering this process can transform your practice. Credentialing can sometimes feel overwhelming, but my goal is to make it approachable, practical, and even enjoyable. Let's talk about why credentialing matters. Think of it as the backbone of your practice. Without it, patients might face higher costs and you may experience delays in payments or even claim denials. When it's done right, credentialing ensures smoother operations for your team, faster reimbursements from payers, and happier patients who can access affordable care. In this course, we're going to break down the credentialing process into simple, actionable steps. Whether you're new to this or just need a refresher, by the end, you'll feel confident navigating every stage of credentialing. Before we dive in, think about your own credentialing challenges. Have you ever faced delays or missing information? Keep those in mind as we go through the course, and you might find the solutions here. Credentialing basics and what you need to know. Credentialing is verifying a provider's qualifications to join insurance networks. It ensures that you meet the payer's quality and compliance standards. When I first started working in credentialing, I thought, how hard can this be? And then I realized it's like juggling plates. Every detail matters, and dropping one can cause a mess. But don't worry, because this course, I'm here to help you avoid the chaos. Think of credentialing as your backstage pass to the healthcare network. Without it, you're not on the guest list, and your patients may struggle to afford care. So, by the end of this, you'll know why credentialing is the foundation of every successful practice and have a clear idea of what's ahead. The main purpose of credentialing for healthcare providers is to join an insurance network and ensure claims are processed in network. For providers, credentialing gives you access to a broader patient base, as most patients prefer in network providers to reduce their out of pocket expense. For the patients, this helps them avoid high out of network fees and ensures their providers meet established quality standards. Who needs to be credentialed? In my opinion, all providers should be credentialed. All individual practitioners and group practices should be credentialed. The overview of the steps, we have the application submission, verification of qualifications, and approval and contract signing. The essential documents and profiles. This is preparing for the credentialing applications. Think of this as your packing list for a big trip. Forgetting your passport, or in this case, your medical license, can leave you stranded. So, first tip, you want to create a credentialing binder or a digital folder for these documents. It's like having your credentialing superpower at your fingertips, your resume. And on with that resume, you want to have these five main documents with your checklist. An active state medical license, your DEA certification if applicable to your profession, your board certifications, your malpractice insurance, and your tax documents such as a W 9 form. Also, with your board certifications and your active medical license, if you did any preceptorships or any other supervision, you want to make sure you have who supervised you, and what facilities you were active with your supervision. I have worked with providers who've had their applications delayed for months over a missed W 9. So trust me, being thorough up front is worth the time. So moving on to your CAQH profile. Think of this as your LinkedIn for healthcare providers and your insurance networks, and they go through and learn who you are as a provider. This is your universal credentialing platform that many payers use for verification. You want to make sure you're setting this up completely and attaching all of the documents, those five main documents at least, on your profile so it's easy for you to access and easy for the payers to verify when they go there to know who you are after you submit your application. You want to make sure this CAQH profile is updated every 90 days to avoid deactivation. A payer specific requirement, I'm going to use United Healthcare as an example. They have their own provider portal that you will use to go and begin the credentialing process, and also use their portal to do any updates or check the status of your application. They have other steps that they will require, such as the supplementary forms or a test, depending on your specialty. So all payers will have certain requirements for different types of providers, and also they will all have their different requirements for their credentialing process as a minimum. Their CAQH profile is required for, they will check this with United Healthcare, and also their review timeline is 30 to 60 days with the status updates available on their portal. So this is an example, but you want to always make sure you review each payer's requirements carefully, and small variations can lead to delays. Submission for credentialing and tracking. We'll go over submitting credentialing applications and tracking their progress. Submitting your credentialing application is like sending off a big package. It's important to double check the address and make sure nothing is missing before you ship it, or in this case, before you submit it. So you're going to be using different platforms such as Ability, Provider Source, and other payer-specific portals like we just went over. Also, tips for your accurate submissions: double checking your MPI number, your tax ID, your contact details, such as your address for your practice and your personal. You want to also ensure all signatures are included on the pages where they're required. And if you have any information that does not apply, you want to check does not apply. Submitting your application, if you're using the portal, they will have a specific portal. Through that portal, you will submit it, and also they will give you the option to fax. The email will be available for when you need to contact them about submitting your application, but in most cases, it will be submission through the portal via fax or online. You will send an email like letting them know that, hi, I'm requesting to begin the credentialing process, and you will attach all of the necessary documents, but most likely it will be through a portal. Tracking the progress, you'll use the tools like onboarding tracker with Ability, and also using secure portals to have access to communication securely with the payers about your status and about any other information that they may need from you, or whatever you may need from them. You want to maintain this information on a spreadsheet or a digital tracker. This should include the payer name, the submission date, and the status updates. Also, you want to have the contact information for the payer for follow-ups. This will help you stay, updated with everything about how long it will take for everything to be approved, what information they're waiting on, and everything in between. What is the recommended interval for following up on your credentialing application? That would be 14 to 21 days after submission. You will first get an initial email saying we received your information and here are the next steps. Then they're going to go through the process of verifying your information, and also you may be in the queue of line of other applications. So you want to make sure you have patience and make sure you have the time to do all of this before you start seeing patients, and also making them aware that there will be certain fees if you're not already in network. You want to handle your request for additional information if they're asking you for the information through their secure portal, staying up to date, and escalating unresolved issues with the payer using the provider relations information that you have for their contacts. Avoiding common credentialing mistakes, preventing delays and denials by identifying and addressing the common credentialing errors. I did once have a provider who forgot to update their CAQH profile, and it took weeks to sort out, so delaying their application. So let's talk about how to avoid these headaches. The top four are failure to respond to payer requests for additional information, missing signatures or incomplete forms, outdated licenses for or malpractice insurance, and discrepancies in the NPI, the tax ID number, or the contact details. The contact details will include like information like your address not being updated or you not having all addresses on the application if you have multiple practices in different locations. Also, with the failure to respond to payer requests for additional information, when you receive that initial message, when they are asking for the information, there will be a time frame that they give you to respond. You want to always make sure you're within that timeline, or they will reject your application and request that you start over in order to participate. So, some strategies to avoid the errors. You want to make sure you have created a credentialing checklist, review the checklist on the payer website, review the applications before submitting them. You also want to set a calendar reminder for document renewals and use a credentialing software or hire a professional service like myself for support. Credentialing tips and next steps. Staying on top of credentialing ensures your revenue flow stays uninterrupted and your practice grows with confidence. It is worth the effort. So, by now, you've learned how to manage applications, track the progress, and avoid mistakes. This final module will tie it all together with tips for long success. You want to make sure you're staying on top of your recredentialing with the payers, which can be between every 2 and 3 years. You also want to keep track of the recredentialing deadlines and ensure all documents are updated. Collaborating with your billing teams are important. They need to be aware of any credentialing status changes to prevent scheduling errors or out of network claims. So, allowing them to have, or one or two people to have access to that software or spreadsheet, or will give them the ability to keep your credentialing and recredentialing up to date with you. Staying proactive is important. You want to regularly review payer policies for updates and join professional forums or attend webinars to stay informed about the industry trends. If you have any questions or want help, reach out. Credentialing can be tricky, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet the team behind your success. I'm Portia, the CEO of PS Practice Solutions. I am a healthcare administrator, a credentialing coordinator, specializing in behavioral health providers and groups. I also manage credentialing processes, and I can also do code review and claim submissions on platforms like Simple Practice. I also have my own med office and dent office practice management and billing platforms that are available to other providers. Please visit my website for those services and more about me. I have my partner, Kinovia. She is the CEO of Behavioral Bill. She is a behavioral health billing expert with years of experience supporting providers and groups. She is a simple practice expert and partnering with providers to streamline billing workflows. She leads a skilled team of billers handling age reports, rejected denied claims, and comprehensive billing services. Please visit her website to know more about her. So you've made it through and you just finished a crash course on credentialing for providers. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me today and for investing in understanding the credentialing process. Your dedication to your practice and your patients is truly inspiring. Remember, credentialing isn't just a task, it's a key to unlocking new opportunities for your practice. By staying organized, proactive, and informed, you can ensure a smoother operations and greater success. If you have any questions or need additional guidance, please don't hesitate to reach out. My team and I are here to support you every step of the way. Visit my website where I have a blog all about unlocking your credentialing. And credentialing may seem complex, but the right tools and knowledge, you can conquer it confidently. Let's work together to make your practice thrive.